Nebraska and Scott Frost have a lot of work to do to turn the perception of them around. This is not the Scott Frost era that people anticipated. A lot of Huskers fans thought that this would be a little bit better, and they're hoping that this year maybe takes a step in that direction. There are some offseason changes with players transferring out that lead to some concerns, but we'll see if Scott Frost can recreate some of that UCF magic that got him to Nebraska. At number 10, we have linebacker Luke Reimer, 40 tackles and 5 tackles for loss last year. There's another linebacker that we'll talk about in a sec, but linebacker could very well be the strength of this defense this year. Number 9, offensive tackle Bryce Benhart, 6'9", 330 pounds. It's really going to be hard to miss him on the field, and with the next guy that we're going to talk about needing protection, it's going to be paramount that he is thriving when people are watching him. Number 8, that guy I talked about, Adrian Martinez. So Adrian Martinez is a really good quarterback when things are going well. And unfortunately, a lot of times they haven't. You know, this is a guy with over 5,600 yards passing and 31 touchdowns, along with over 1,700 yards rushing and 22 touchdowns, but fumbles and interceptions have really been an issue for him. He has 20 picks, like I mentioned, or actually his 31 touchdowns, like I mentioned before, and just ball security is really a problem right now. And consistency with his passing is another thing that people look at, but Adrian Martinez at his peak is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Unfortunately, we just haven't seen that on a consistent basis, and he has the biggest impact on this offense, maybe even on this team. Number 7, Ben Still, defensive end who has 107 tackles in his career, including 13 sacks. And even though, linebacker I said is going to be the strength, but the defensive line is going to have a bigger impact just because they set the tone up front. Number 6, center Cameron Jurgens. So like I said, Martinez is going to need a line that's going to help him out. And with 2 guys that we just already talked about, now we talk about Jurgens here. He started his career as a tight end, and he's figured out how to play offensive line, how to play center of all positions. So he's a great option for Martinez and a guy that he can definitely rely on. Number 5, Deontay Williams, the safety, last year did a little bit of everything for this defense. So there's some talent at the front line, and then there's some talent on the backside. Like I said, linebacker is going to be the strength, but there are some exciting players in front and behind those guys. One of the linebackers that we'll talk about here, Will Honas, 57 tackles last year, and not the best linebacker on this team, but another guy that gives them depth and gives them a good trio of linebackers, if that gives anything away. Number 3, Marquise Stepp. So Stepp comes from USC, a very physical runner, and he is just at times a little bit anxious to get to a hole, get to an opening, and if he could just learn a little bit more patience, he's got a line that's going to be able to block for him. Just maybe, I don't know if it'll be better than what he had at USC, but he just has to be a little bit more patient. He's 6 foot, 235 pounds, so he brings a physical running style, good size, and Big Ten teams are not going to want to tackle him. Number 2, JoJo Domann, 17.5 tackles for loss in his career, 137 career tackles. A guy that many people are really keeping an eye on for a future in the NFL, and it'd be the last of the trio here at linebacker that we'll talk about. Number 1, Cam Taylor-Britt, second team All Big Ten last year, and with 4 career interceptions, 11 passes defended. He's one of the best defensive backs in all of college football, especially in the Big Ten. So as you can see, Nebraska has some talent that's really, really exciting. It's just a matter of, can they put it all together? Can Scott Frost become the coach that Nebraska fans expected him to? Can Nebraska become the team that everybody expected them to? There's a reason why everybody's excited when Frost arrived, and the story is a really good one. It's just that everything hasn't been put together. There are plenty of guys that can make plays, and Nebraska can be a competitive team. They just haven't been able to gel well together, from coaching staff to players.